This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of professional practice. You are in your last week, just 7 short days, actually 4 if you think about it. 4 more days and you'll be done with your coursework. You'll be graduating. You can get your diploma. If you're coming live to graduation, I will not be here that weekend, but all my colleagues will be there to greet you on stage. You'll get to see each other in person if you're here. But if you're not here, don't forget that if you go into Connect under the graduation page, there's a link there so you can watch it live streaming, and they make announcements about valedictorian, salutatorian, advanced achiever. So tune in if you can't be here physically in person. Tune into graduation on April 5th at 8:30 in the morning via the live stream. And congratulations to each and every one of you. You worked really hard to get to this point, and you just have a few assignments left to do. So I will talk about those in a minute. But first, I want to talk a little bit about like different things that you can use this degree for. So there's different levels of digital experiences out there that you as a media designer can contribute to, and you can use your knowledge from all of your classes in all of these different areas, like strategy. If you want to be a brand strategist, there's plenty of jobs out there to look into. Maybe you're really good at coming up with campaign ideas or project planning. I know I was a production manager for a really long time, and I use my production manager skills for everything, including getting my school comprehensive exam schedule together and the 90 books I have to read. So some of the stuff you learn comes in handy in other aspects of your life as well. If you want to stick to the creative side of things, you can think about user experience. That is a huge field right now. Everybody's concerned with how you're going to grab an audience and keep them when there's so much clutter out there. Of course, being an art director in design and being a creative director is out there as well. Remember in month 4, we talked a little bit about content creation and how you can use your new copywriting skills for content creation. You know, all those websites and mobile apps and things all need content. Somebody's got to write it. And if you like the 3D and the animation side of things, there's jobs that you can look at. I'm sure by now career development has inundated you with job opportunities out there. So you might be in a career right now that you're really happy with, but always keep yourself abreast of what's going on in the field in case you do want to move forward. In technology, you know, if you're a developer, God bless you. I went through a coding class. I don't know how you guys do it, but good for you. There's a lot of, the more technical you are, the more opportunities there are for you, including, you know, app creation, prototyping, content management, development of front end and back end. So it's great. And then in the production side of things, you know, if you feel like, okay, design is great, but I like the whole management side of things, the big picture, being a communication manager where you're overcharge of every aspect of the communication, whether you're working for like a television station that's got a local affiliation to it and you have to kind of co-brand it with the mothership, as we used to call it at PBS. There's all kinds of opportunities out there for you guys. So let's talk about what you actually need to be thinking about as you're out there in the world and the skill sets that are going to be asked of you. So one of the things they're going to ask you to look at is they're going to make sure you're a master of Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign at the very least. So you want to make sure your skill sets in these 3 pieces of Adobe Creative Cloud software are at the expert level, because you're not going to get a design job without being an expert in Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. This one was one that I avoided for years, but now I can say that I am familiar with HTML and CSS and MySQL and PHP, and right now I'm learning JavaScript. I find it all annoying, but it's something that's out there and it needs, most jobs are going to require it now. So knowing the basics of HTML, you might not have to code, but you might have to work with a developer. And understanding the back end makes it more efficient for you as a front end designer. So getting familiar with HTML is usually going to be in a job description. along with UX and UI experience. So how does the interface work? How does the user experience operate? How can you make a case for a design that you're creating if you don't understand your user? So it's 13% of job postings now want graphic designers with UI and UX experience. So it's important to gain some. If you haven't got any, then work on that. The more skills you can put in your bag of tricks, the easier it is for you to find a job. So these other graphic design skills are also necessary. As many of the Adobe Creative Cloud applications that are out there that you can become familiar with, the better your resume is going to look, along with understanding and really being able to talk about typography and how typography informs the message. Print design, photography, if you can be the one who shoots the pictures as well as designs the ads and writes the copy, and you understand branding, then that's more valuable. And then you're going to need these office related skills like Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, maybe some CSS and some web design, so Dreamweaver and things like that. So if you're just getting started and jobs are asking you for 2 to 3 years of minimum experience, you want to, start working towards that now. Now, remember, in effective copywriting, we worked on those nonprofit organization ads, and I was just talking about this with my classmates in my PhD program. I was like, if you're trying to build your portfolio and you need to get experience, the best way to do it is to volunteer for a nonprofit organization in your hometown, because they usually don't have the money to spend on graphic design services and professional design. So you could volunteer to do their design work for them for free. You're giving back to your community, and you're ending up with pieces in your portfolio, plus a letter of recommendation if you work things right. The best paying jobs out there are asking for 3 years of experience. So you have to work towards that. You're not just going to get your MFA and it's like an instant get out of jail free card and suddenly you get this new job. So you have to work your way up. So finding ways that you can expand your skill set, like I mentioned before, with all the other pieces of software, with web design, coding, it's really important, because the biggest companies out there are going to be the ones that pay the most. So you want to make sure that you have the skill sets that they are asking for. That's why we did that whole exercise at the beginning of this month with the resume and the cover letter and the personal brand statement. And of course, you already did this. You want to work for a bigger company. You want to get a degree, and you are finishing with your MFA in media design. So now you have a terminal degree from Full Sail University that you are an expert in media design. So use the skills that you learned over these last 12 months to help you with your career moving forward. Career development is there for you to help you with anything you need. So if you are looking for a free way to learn some coding, codecademy.org is a tool that I use to teach myself coding. And trust me, I've been avoiding coding since the internet was invented. But this last year I learned through exercises on Codecademy how to code. So don't be afraid of it. Just do the exercises when you get a free moment. Spend like a couple of lunch hours on it. It's really going to benefit you in the long run. Okay, so let's talk about some minutia with your final month here at Full Sail. So I get a lot of questions about Adobe Creative Cloud and lynda.com. So when do your subscriptions end? Well, your Adobe Creative Cloud is active for 12 months after you start using your code. So if you started 12 months ago, then your codes are about to expire. But my best advice to you is to sign up for the student rate right now. That way you're not paying as much for it. And you have to have the Creative Cloud if you're going to work in the industry and not work if you're freelancing, especially, and you don't have access to it through your employer. So go use your student ID and the fact that you're a student to, get into professional organizations at a student rate, get your Adobe Creative Cloud at the student rate. Did you know you could sign up for Amazon Prime using your student email address, and you get 6 months of Amazon Prime for free? So think about that, doing that this month before you are no longer a student. So your Creative Cloud is only operational while you are an active student, so that's something to keep in mind. But with lynda.com, you should have continued access It could get revoked at any time, but if you feel like you want to do some lynda.com stuff, just try log in the way you normally do with your Full Sail email address. You will get to keep your Full Sail email address, and you'll get notifications from Career Development and Full Sail itself. We have Hall of Fame coming up in May, so you'll get some notifications on that. And if you can come to Hall of Fame and participate, that's a great place to network, so keep that in mind. Did you know as a Full Sail graduate, you could audit classes? So you can come back to Full Sail and audit any of the media design MFA program courses whenever you want. You don't have to even do the assignments. You can just come out and hang out and go to the go-to meetings or not, do the assignments or not, but you get access to all the materials. So, we are currently working on new curriculum. We're always working on new curriculum. So as things change, software, technology, it's changing at such a rapid pace. We dedicate ourselves to keeping up with it. So if you feel you need to sharpen your branding skills or your writing skills or your web design skills, whatever it is, keep an eye out on Media Design MFA and audit some classes, because you can do that for free. But you have to go through the enrollment process. But once you're through that, then you can take any of the courses for free. All right. But before all that, we have to finish up some assignments for this week. So your discussion board this week is pretty easy. Let me pull that one up. What you're doing is you're sharing some professional organizations with your classmates. So this is a really good resource. So I want you to come back when you're, maybe on Friday and copy and paste everybody's into a Word document so that you have this big list of professional organizations. You're going to go out there and find 2 international design organizations like AIGA or Promax BDA, 2 national organizations, and then 2 local organizations that you could be a part of. Like currently here in Orlando, we have Orlando AdFed, we have the local AIGA chapter. We used to have a Broadcast Design Association chapter, but we don't have that here anymore. But BDA was a great organization. I belonged to Promax and BDA for many years. So if you're a broadcast designer, that's a good place for you to network and look for jobs as well. So you're going to include a summary of each organization and provide a working link to that. So you want to make sure that you're listing organizations that your classmates have not posted. So as you start to collect your organizations, go check the discussion board and see who's already posted. Because the first one that gets to the discussion board can use AIGA, but for the rest of you, you can't use it. So you want to make sure you're getting that in by Thursday of this week. If you need some extra time, just shoot me an email. Let me know. It's your last week, so I'm pretty casual about the work. But I do need it by Sunday. I have to have all the grades in for month 12 by Monday because they have to figure out who's the valedictorian and the salutatorian. So I must have all of your work done and completed by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Okay, the other thing we're going to finish up with is our mastery journey. So our mastery journal is going to document your journey, kind of like what we just did with the experience map, but this time you're covering these 4 bullet points, and it's really important you cover all 4. So you're going to discuss how each course in your program contributed to your professional development as a media designer and your personal development. You want to talk about a technique from each course that helped you complete your thesis project. You can skip month 12 for this, but in month 1, you worked on mastery and you figured out what it was you were doing and how you were going to achieve that. In month 4, you learned copywriting skills. In month 6, maybe you dabbled in Adobe After Effects. So think about the techniques that helped you with your thesis project in month 11 to complete your thesis project and get that defense written. Include a relevant screenshot from this month's mastery project, which is the final experience map. You'll have feedback on those tomorrow, but I'm excited to go over those. They look really great. So make sure you put a screen capture into your mastery journey, a photograph with the caption as to what it is. So that is there on your mastery journal. And then make sure you're posting the link to your mastery journal here on the timeline. I mean, in the FSO window, not on the timeline. So that's it it for this week. You can be all done and graduated with your work by Thursday. Officially, you'll graduate on April 5th. And for those of you that are coming, you don't actually get your diploma on April 5th. It comes in the mail. I remember it being a little anticlimactic. It was like in a tube, and I have community mailboxes here, so I had this big tube that I pulled out, and I was like, oh, it's my diploma. But you will get, we go through the whole ceremony. So with caps and gowns, and you get handed something. You get pictures too when you're here. But when you're not here, you can, like I said earlier, participate through the online. And if you want to walk in the future, you can always sign up and come walk at a later date. That's available to you as well. So all that is available through the Connect page on graduation. So with the changeover to Full Sail 1. Probably over there now. I'm still getting used to that whole new thing. Okay. So if you have any questions about anything that's coming up, anything that's related to post-graduation things, always reach out to me. If you haven't already, linked in with me on LinkedIn, because that's a great place to network with people. I have a lot of Full Sail people there. So, Full Sail is its own tribe, and our tribe tends to look out for each other first. So connecting and networking with Full Sail alum is always a really strong piece of advice I can give you, because if there are 4 people up for a job and one of them is a Full Sail grad and the person doing the hiring is a Full Sail grad, well, you know how that story's going to end. So get your networking together through LinkedIn. If you have any questions as you're working on the final assignments, though, do reach out to me. Again, congratulations on completing your MFA in media design. You all worked really hard, and I'm really proud of you. Thanks.